Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're pulling back the curtain on something you probably use dozens of times a day without even thinking about it. Hinges.
Hinges, yes.
Simple, right? But they're absolutely everywhere. Your front door, kitchen cabinets, maybe even your laptop lid. Just quietly doing their thing.
Yeah.
So our mission today, we're going to uncover the hidden layers, the quality checks, the safety standards behind this really common hardware. We're using a guide from Qualitance India. They specialize in compliance stuff to really dig into the regulations that make sure these simple things actually work, and crucially, work safely.
And it's fascinating, really, because a hinge, well, it seems like just a bit of metal, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But its job in keeping things safe, stable, functioning correctly, it's absolutely critical. We're talking about a whole system of standards that make sure everyday objects perform reliably.
Okay, right. Let's kind of break that down then. At the most basic level, what are we talking about with hinges? They're hardware, essential hardware. Connects two bits, lets one swing or pivot.
Pretty much.
Doors, cabinets, gates, different machines. I mean, seriously, just pause and think how many you've probably already used today without noticing.
Easily dozens for most people.
And it's not just one kind of hinge, is it? Our source mentions like a whole bunch of different types. You got your standard butt hinges, those long piano hinges maybe on a toy box, spring hinges that pull doors shut.
Exactly. They're used everywhere, and the type really depends on the job it needs to do.
Which I guess leads us to the next question. Why does something like a hinge need official certification? Why BIS?
Well, precisely because they're so common and so critical. Their role in safety, how long they last, how well they perform, it's vital. So the Bureau of Indian Standards, BIS, they actually mandate certification for certain types of hinges.
Oh, okay, not all hinges then.
Not all, but specific ones where quality is paramount. It's about ensuring a consistent, reliable standard. I mean, think about it. If a hinge on say, a really heavy gate fails,
Oh, yeah.
that's not just annoying. It could be genuinely dangerous.
Yeah.
So this whole certification thing, it's fundamentally about protecting you, the person using it, and making sure you can trust the product.
Okay, so you mentioned specific types need certification. Let's get into the details. Which hinges are we talking about, and what these IS codes?
Right, so this is where it gets quite specific. The source lays it out pretty clearly. You've got your mild steel butt hinges, very common. They fall under IS 141.2002.
Okay.
Then for stainless steel hinges, maybe for outdoor use or bathrooms, that's IS 12817.
Different standard.
Different standard, yeah. Then there are rising butt hinges, those ones that lift the door slightly as it opens, they're IS 1365. And for some others, like Parliament hinges or strap hinges, it's more based on performance standards.
Performance standards, meaning?
Meaning they have to meet certain requirements for strength and durability rather than a single specific design standard. And then you have heavy-duty industrial hinges.
Right, for big stuff.
Exactly. And their standards are often application-specific, tailored to, the massive stress they might be under. And these standards, they aren't just rubber stamps. They're designed to check very specific things.
Like what?
Things like exact dimensions, does it fit properly? Corrosion resistance, will it rust easily? Strength, can it hold the weight it's supposed to over and over again? And just overall manufacturing quality.
Huh. It's pretty detailed stuff for a hinge.
It has to be. Every little detail matters for that hinge to work reliably, year after year.
It really makes you think, though. That smooth, quiet swing of a door you never notice. That reliability comes from these unseen, rigorous checks. It's why you can just trust it'll work.
Exactly. It's built-in trust, essentially.
So switching gears slightly, who actually needs to go through this? Who needs to get these BIS certifications for their hinges?
Okay, so the rules are quite clear on this. It's mandatory for anyone manufacturing these specific types of hinges in India.
Right. Local manufacturers.
And also for importers. If you're bringing these hinges into India to sell them on the market, you also need that BIS certification.
So basically, if it's sold in India and it's one of those types, it needs the certification. No exceptions.
For those specific standards listed, yeah, it's a requirement. It's not optional if you want to sell legally. And if you think about the bigger picture, the why, it makes sense.
Go on.
Well, first, it ensures the products are legally allowed to be sold. That's the baseline. But more importantly, it's about customer trust, isn't it? That BIS mark tells people this hinge meets a certain level of quality and safety.
Establishes confidence.
Precisely. It builds consumer confidence, maintains market integrity, and it also supports fair competition.
How so?
Well, imagine if cheap, uncertified, potentially unsafe hinges could just flood the market.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
It would undercut the manufacturers doing the right thing, investing in quality, and ultimately you, the consumer, might end up paying more replacing faulty stuff or dealing with failures.
So these regulations, even though they seem kind of niche, they actually directly impact the quality and the trustworthiness of what's available to buy, even down to the hardware on your kitchen cabinets.
Absolutely. It's that foundational level of assurance.
Okay, so for anyone involved in this, maybe a manufacturer listening, or just if you're curious, what's the actual process? How do you get this BIS certification? Sounds like it might be complicated.
It's definitely a process. It's not just filling out one form. Our source outlines the main stages. It typically starts with preparing the application, getting all the product details and company information together.
Standard paperwork.
Right. Then comes a really crucial step, product testing. The hinges have to be sent to a BIS-approved lab.
And that's where they do those checks. Dimensions, strength, rust resistance.
Exactly. They put the hinges through their paces according to the relevant IS standard. If the testing goes well, BIS often conducts a factory inspection.
Yeah, visit the manufacturing plant.
Yeah, to check that the factory has the right quality control processes in place to consistently produce hinges that meet the standard.
Makes sense. Consistency is key.
Definitely. After that, assuming everything checks out, there's more documentation, ensuring compliance, and then finally the grant of the BIS license.
Wow. Okay, so
Oh.
application, lab testing, factory visit, paperwork. It's quite involved.
It is, and the source mentions that getting expert help, like from a compliance consultant, can make it smooth, transparent, and efficient, which suggests it can be tricky to navigate alone.
Yeah, I bet. It really underscores the level of effort and rigor that goes into certifying even something seemingly simple like a hinge before it ends up in your home or office.
Mm.
So bringing this all together,
hmm
what's the main thing you want people to take away from our deep dive today?
I think it's the profound importance of standards like BIS certification. We often take things for granted, but these standards are directly linked to the safety, the durability, and just the basic trust we have in everyday items. It's like an invisible framework, ensuring things work the way they're supposed to, protecting us, really.
So maybe the final thought for everyone listening is this. Next time you open a door or a cabinet or even just lift the lid on something, take a second look at that hinge. Consider the journey it might have been on.
Yeah.
The testing for strength, for corrosion, the checks on its dimensions,
Yeah.
all that unseen effort that went into making sure it's reliable and safe for you.
Uh-huh.
Hopefully, knowing that adds, a little bit of appreciation for the hidden complexities that keep our world working smoothly.
Well said. It changes how you see the little things.